Flight Boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties, some motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to get very, very ancient on them. Very ancient on them when we talk about astrology. Now, I'm going to explain why they try to take me out of all the Bibles. They try to, because you know, Archangel Uriel, I ain't conformed to no pleasures. I ain't conformed to no glories. So ain't none of my stories gonna be glorified. See, I ain't indulge into the pleasures of war like Michael. You know what I'm saying? See, I ain't indulge into the pleasures of love like Gabrielle. See, I ain't indulge in trying to be a king or queen and be prestigious like Raphael. See, I ain't indulge in trying to be the leader of some organization like Megatron. You see what I'm saying? Archangel Uriel always was here teaching knowledge in the stars and teaching you what divination is and teaching you wisdom and knowledge and just giving you the science. See, this is Satan trying to use my shit. He down in this shit. I rule over the shit he in. See, fuck all that shit. I was always a person on my own and went on my own path. So none of my story. They try to change my name, take me out the Bible and shit. So you know all that shit ain't gonna be They ain't try to glorify Uriel. That's why I'm in the flesh right now today. You see what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about the ancient astrology house system. You feel me? Now check this out. For the most part, when we want to talk about the system of ascendant that we got now, when the sun is rising on the eastern part and things of that nature. Now, this is tied into ego and this is tied into personality. Now, what I'm about to explain is way from a time that we was all personally doing the same thing, just in our own personal way. Now, this is different in this society. Now, why? Because check this out. When we want to talk about the ascendant, all this is calculated with time, the time that's backed and supported by the Mayan calendar and things of that nature, and the Greeks and stuff. I'm finna talk about before that, but just think about it, how money is backed and supported by gold or whatever like that. That science of the houses and ascendant is backed and supported by the Mayan calendar and the time that man made and things of that nature, and before, and them calculating the lesser stars, the lower stars that's closer to us. So I mean, it's still right, but what I'm saying is this a different perspective also. So when you look at your ascendant now, you think about it as your personality. So you think about it as you're constantly doing your sun and your moon, your actions and reactions. So someone have to describe to you your personality or your house situations, because it's something that you're doing subconsciously. So when you're going out into the world, right, in the world is already programs, rotations, things that's already taking place, aka society. So when you go out into society, this would build your personality. This would and then you have to have a certain type of ego, aka fulfill a certain frequency vibration in order to play a role to keep an organization or something that's organized running, aka you have to play your position, whatever position you are at work. So for the most part, that's letting you know that all that science is calculated and was created from and back to supported from time, and that's correlated to ego. So building your personality to do something that's already conformed in society, right? The reason you subconsciously put yourself in society to do these things, you start to subconsciously build a personality, build an ego. But that whole realm of reality, you see what I'm saying, was created to a sense. But same way how we use technology, it could be a benefit, but it could also be a restriction. It's the same way. So what we create, when I say something is made up, I don't want y'all to think that something is made up. Oh, it's not real. It's not. No, what we create is very real. Your imagination and thoughts is very real. You see what I'm saying? Now, we have to know how to not use this as a hindrance. So when an astrologer explains you your personality and house situations, they start to talk about your ascendant, and it's going to make sense because that's what you're doing in society. So for an example, if it's a music industry out in society and you are a Leo or a Pisces ascendant, right? When an astrologer tell you, okay, you're into music, that's why you personally want to do this all the times, and you make this your personal issue to do this, and you create all your personal affairs in your life to do this, which is the people, place, and things, it'll make sense, right? But remind you, there's a time you have to do this, and in society, you're trying to get into an industry that was created and made, so it's already vibrating on a certain frequency vibration, right? So how that's under time, the same way how your ascendant got calculated under time. So it's like you're in a time of you wanting to experience that. But see, you don't have to be told this subconsciously. You can know how your personality is built up naturally, and that's what we finna get into right now. So this is the natural house system before any man time, before any you know what I'm saying, Greek or any of that shit. You see what I'm saying? And all the Greek names and all this, that, and the third. But we have to use Venus and the Sun and all that just to correlate it so y'all can understand. I don't want to just use, okay, this light source with this frequency vibration, and then this light source with this frequency. I'm going to just correlate it to which ones I'm talking about. Now, I need you to get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper, right? Because you're gonna realize, like, God damn, this is fucking accurate. So now I know my personality, and the way I'm coming across to people is the way the ascendant system is set up now. So you'll be able to use that as a tool, because you will know yourself, and now you'll be able to use your regular ascendant thing as just a tool. So now, go get a piece of paper. Now, before I get into it, I must say this. Saturn rules everybody's houses. You know how you got your chart from this ascendant system, and they'll tell you that your chart ruler is the ruler of your first house. Well, in this system, no. In ancient, Saturn rules everybody's house system. You see what I'm saying? Saturn is the most heaviest, the most mass. So whatever house you got Saturn in, that's going to be the area of life you're trying to gain structure in. That's going to be the area of life you're trying to see reality and gain structure in your life, and set boundaries and restrictions and limits. And receive them also. So everybody had Saturn in one of their houses, and that was what everybody seen from each other at. Okay, this is what this person trying to build in their life. This what their so Saturn represent what a person is trying to do. Period. In reality, in everybody chart, it's the heaviest. Wherever you got Saturn at, that's what you're trying to gain structure in your life about. Now, woo, pardon me. Now. The sun is going to represent the first house. So wherever the sun is at, is the first house. So this is what you need a piece of paper for right here. Now I'm going to do me for an example so y'all can get an understanding. My sun is in the 9th house. So the 9th house becomes your first house. That is your first house. You see what I'm saying? So the 9th house is your first house. So what does the first house represent? Your personality, personal issues, and affairs. Whether that's a person, place, or thing within your personal affairs. As long as they step into your personal life, and you personally know them, these things, that's in your first house. So since my sun is in my 9th house, the 9th house is your first house. So this is how you do that. If you got the sun in the 5th house, that's your first house. So what is my personality, personal issues, and affairs? 9th house shit. Wisdom, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Adding higher meaning and reasonings to things. Experiencing. You know what I'm saying? Always trying to analyze my experiences. My broad philosophical points of views of looking at the world, spirituality, and God, and in my surroundings. Higher education. So that's my personality. That's my first house. Now, my 10th house, since my first house is the 9th house, my 10th house becomes the 2nd house. So what does the 2nd house represent? Right? Value, appreciation, relativeness, what you have to offer to the world. You see what I'm saying? Whether that's internally or externally. What you value could be a person, place, or thing, and what you have to offer to the world could be a talent, gift. And it's also the house of planting seeds and how you build your self-esteem. So my 10th house but my 10th house is my 2nd house. So I value, and what I feel like I have to offer to the world, and mainly what I value is my status, what I'm known for, how I'm seen, my career. You see what I'm saying? That's my 2nd house. My 2nd house, I value. See, it's like a combining. That's how you understand it. Now, my 3rd house is my 11th house. So, what is the 3rd house? My surroundings, neighbors, close proximities when it comes to friends and family, and whatever I'm familiar with. Whether that's a person, place, or thing, gift, talent, trade, or whatever. That's my 3rd house, my surroundings. Now, what's the 11th? Now, my 3rd house, the 11th house is my 3rd house. So what is the 11th house? And my surroundings and what I think is familiar with me and my friends and my close proximities and my close and people that's in my close proximities as in friends or whatever like that, I look at them as distant. Pardon me. I look at them as distant. I look at them as more for public references. I look at them as more as the unknown and unfamiliar. What's the unfamiliar? Unfamiliar is like distant friend, associates, things you may be a part of, things that you're organized with, the organization, the location of a lot of these places that you're at. You know what I'm saying? So I may look at a lot of my close people who are close to me as associates. You see what I'm saying? Or distant a little bit to a certain degree. Or it may be perceived I'm distant to them. Or I'm distant to the surroundings that I'm in. You see what I'm saying? So I may appear to be more broad thinking, but more distant to the people, places, and things in my surroundings. And I may act more unique and original. You see what I'm saying? Or I may be more changing, rebelling, and opposing, because that's the 11th house type things. And the unknown is, you know, science, astrology, occult, mysticism, technology, which is phones, computers. Now, reason why they're in the unknown realm of reality of life is because they could be known, but there's always things being discovered. So, you know what I'm saying? With the science, astrology, occult, mysticism, and technology, things can always be discovered. So there's always something unknown about it. So we're going to put it in the unknown aspect. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's how you correlate it. So now you can look at even your planets like that. You see what I'm saying? Now, since my sun is in the 9th house, let's look at it like this. Now, my sun is in the 9th house. So that means that's my first house. That's my first house. Now, since my moon is in the 4th house, right? The moon, the 4th house becomes the 8th house. You see what I'm saying? For me, the moon becomes the 8th house when you calculate it. If the 9th house is my first house, then you do it down on your piece of paper. The first, on my first house, start at 9. So 10 would be the 2nd, 11 would be 3rd, 12 would be 4th. The first house would be the 5th house. You see what I'm saying? The 5th house would be the 6th house. The 7th house be the, you see what I'm saying? So in my chart, the 4th house is the 8th house. So the moon is in my 8th, is naturally playing out 8th house. So my moon, what is your now the moon originally is in the 4th house, so that's home, family, private, domestic issues. How to gain emotional stability amongst yourself or wherever you feel most comfortable at, right? And that's actually the 8th house. So it's drug into secrecy, in the dark. You know what I'm saying? My private home, family, whatever, all that stuff is in the dark. How I feel comfortable, I do that in the secret of my own area of location. This is why I call this the flight cave. And things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And you correlate that to so deep. Thing in the home, this is where I do a lot of detective work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of research on things and within the home, in the dark. You see what I'm saying? It goes motherfucking deep. However you want to motherfucking pull it. So Saturn. Now Saturn is let's go with Mars. Mars will be in my 6th house. So right now it's the 10th house. Mars is the 10th house. See, Mars, because the 6th house become the 10th house in my chart. You see what I'm saying? So right here, this is my work, health, routine. What I put on schedule and things of that nature. What I put on schedule and routine and things of that nature is what I'm known for. How people know me, what I'm seen, my status. That's what I put on routine and things. So what is I'm known for? I'm known for this right here, right? So I create a status. This is what I'm known for. So I make it a routine, a day-to-day thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like what I'm known for, my status. See, your chart could be mixed up in so many ways, but your this is actually more accurate. You see what I'm saying? And once you understand this, then you'll be able to use your regular house system as just a tool. As just a tool. You see what I'm saying? Because my natural Mercury, now Mercury is in the 8th house regularly with the regular system, but in my chart, the 8th house becomes the 12th house. So the way I think, communicate, and analyze is about far out things. It's almost like this: never changing Aries, never changing the house system, never changing Aries through Capricorn. But see, when you dive into that, it still filters. You know what I'm saying? It's like just putting your planets in all the houses as if your ascendant never changed. So for an example, like I was explaining, say my ascendant was Aries through Pisces, and everybody ascendant was Aries through Pisces, but my sun landed in the 9th house. See, you will correlate that to, okay, that means you're a Sagittarius if your sun in the 9th house. So you can't really think about it like that. But when you take the Greek names off of it and things of that nature, that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. So it's like if everybody had the houses Aries through Pisces, then place your sun in whatever house the sign is in, and then take out of your mind that what the signs mean and things of that nature, and just look at the houses. This is how we correlated what a person attributes are, and it's actually more accurate. You see what I'm saying? It ain't till we get into the filters and the egos and the lights that we have to use this extra science. So, you know, and now I can use it as a, so look, so now the 8th house becomes the 12th house. So my Mercury is in a, so my deep secrets, you know what I'm saying? Wisdom, knowledge, experiences, you know what I'm saying? What's behind the scenes realm, right? This is the world I live in. This is what I collectively connect with. This is what's always on my mind, how I think and communicate. Now, when I dive into the house system now, my Mercury is in the 8th house. Is this naturally in the 8th house because I'm a Leo ascendant? So I could just use that as a tool now. So I could be like, okay, the impression I give off to others, see, because that's how it is. This house system is you, and then the other house system is what you give off. Like the house system that you use every day, that's really what you give off for others to impress. I mean, for others to be what's that word I'm looking for? Well, just to receive. But then to know what you giving off is this house system. You know what I'm saying? Now, Mercury in the 8th house, right? I could just use that. I could be like, okay, I know impression. That's what I'm looking for. The impression I'm about to give off is some deep thoughts, some deep behind the scene thoughts and things of that nature. But it naturally is the 12th house. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, this is what my mind is always on anyway. This is what my mind is always tapped into the collective conscious and the subconscious realm anyway, right? So when I start to use that and put that into the world, that's when it start to act as the ascendant, as my 8th house, my Mercury being in the 8th house because I'm a Leo ascendant. You see what I'm saying? So you see how you can just use that as a tool now, because this is something you giving off, but actually how you know what you giving off is utilizing this house system. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn air.